Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Rahul here, bringing you guys another video, another review, and today we're going to be talking about the original Big East Conference, the new Big East Conference in my version. Before we get started, please be sure to drop a like, don't forget to subscribe, and click on that notification bell before before you miss a video. Also, guys, thank you all so much for the support for the last couple of days. It really does mean a lot to me, and I hope I hope you guys do to continue support. Really means a lot. So yeah, so let's get on with this. So the original Big East. Okay, I'm gonna name the teams that originally joined: Boston College, Connecticut, Georgetown, Providence, St. John's, Seton Hall, and Syracuse. Back in 1979. Um, this was because of the new NCAA basketball scheduling requirements caused the athletic directors of independent schools to discuss the creation of a new conference created in the Northeast. And that's what happened. So, when the football expansion happened, the Big East, and along this time frame, they did. I'm gonna preface this. They did invite Villanova, and then later Pittsburgh. So they invited, they added, they added Villanova and Pittsburgh. They added Rutgers, Miami, Temple, Virginia Tech, West Virginia. They added Notre Dame, and since Notre Dame wanted to commit to its football independence, except for 2020 when they joined the ACC due to COVID-19 restrictions, that's how it was. Temple was a football-only member until 2004, and it was voted out due to it was poor due to attendance, playing success, and inadequate facilities. That was it. So, 2005 rolls around, correct? So, guess who does it? Guess who leaves? Alright? The football and non-football schools have clashed. So, Virginia Tech, Miami, and Boston College leave to the ACC. Now, let's take a look at what I put. Boston College leaves in 2005. Miami leaves in 2004. Virginia Tech leaves in 2003. So, that's what ends up happening right there. In response to that, the Big East raided by inviting 5 members of the Conference USA: Louisville, Cincinnati, South Florida, Marquette, and DePaul. 3 of which have football programs, 2 of which don't have them. So that's what ends up happening. Then Connecticut actually ends up being a Big East Football Conference member. And what that means is the Big East has 8 schools. And during this time for the Big East, they were having success in the basketball world, but they had their share of the football world, and they were the big powerhouses that they did do well. And you know who helped them out in that for the football world? Virginia Tech, Miami. Miami, during its day, was a blue blood in college football during the 90s and the early 2000s. You could argue that the 2001 Miami Hurricanes are the greatest team to ever grace the football field. You never know. So, and I will say that Miami of Florida Hurricanes are blue bloods. Virginia Tech, no. Who did they produce? Michael Vick. Yep. And for Boston College, they produced Matt Ryan and Luke Kuechly. That's right. So, moving forward, there was continued instability, right? Now, I do have to preface this. Houston, SMU, Memphis, UCF were invited as 4 full-time members, while Air Force, Navy, Boise State, BYU, San Diego State were to join as football-only members. That ended up not working, and TCU was a part of it. They all said no. UCF, Houston, Memphis, SMU were going to join in 2012. TCU was going to join 2011. Essentially, they all said no. And the members unanimously agreed to stabilize the conference to double the exit fee from $5 million to $10 million. So, that was the main issue. And, right. What ended up happening was, so the next split happened when, so next split happened when Syracuse, Pittsburgh, and West Virginia left. Temple did rejoin in 2012, but it was already too late. So, technically for me, it is like, to me, it's, technically to me, it is what it is at that point. Because you almost you almost had your conference decimated at that point. It was like literally how the WAC conference died out and it got reinstated in the FCS level. So, okay. This is what it looks like, right? I do have to say that this is one of the saddest stories because they could have joined together. Then there were rumors about going on, and then when the new Big East happened, all the Catholic 7, which I'm going to state who are the Catholic 7, DePaul, Georgetown, Marquette, Providence, Seton Hall, St. John's, and Villanova, the Catholic 7, actually wanted to form the new Big East. And what that means is that it was 2 years earlier than originally planned, so they would depart in July 2013. It was supposed to be in July 2015. So, there was actually, and this was reported in February 2013, so keep that in mind. What ended up happening is that in exchange for selling both a Big East name and a contract with Madison Square Garden to host the men's basketball tournament to the Catholic 7, as well as $10 million, the football schools would receive $10 million of a $110 million pool that had accumulated from entry fees, exit fees, and proceeds earned from appearances in the NCAA's men's basketball tournament. On April 3rd, the football playing schools, which retained the old Big East structure and its automatic BCS bid, announced they would operate as the American Athletic Conference, starting on July 1st. So, it actually was effective. Yeah, it was effective. So, my point is that, yeah, it was just real sad in my opinion. The old Big East, in my opinion, was founded for basketball purposes. They wanted to make a pure basketball school conference, but then when they added certain, they did the football expansion, and they had issues over the years. They realized that they wanted to go back to the basics, but it ended up being really bad. So you're left with the new Big East, which is predominantly a very good basketball school, and the American Athletic Conference, which is the old Big East, and it's nothing like how it was. So, yeah, so that's my take on Old Big East. It was founded with good intentions, but when it dived into something else, they couldn't do what was right for everyone. And I do know that television deals were a thing. Exit fees, entry fees were a thing. So much went into the 2005 realignment stage and the 2010-2013 realignment stage. It just didn't work out, and this is why this old conference, the old version of the Big East, will, in my opinion, will have a place in basketball lore and football lore. So that's what it is. So now let's go on to the new Big East, and if I had my if I was commissioner of the Big East, let's take a look. So in the new Big East, which started 2013 to the present, you have George. I'm gonna state this again. You have the Catholic Seven, D DePaul, Georgetown, Marquette, Providence, St. John's, Villanova. So DePaul, Georgetown, Marquette, Providence, St. John's, Villanova. So you have 7 schools. They departed, and this Big East Conference 2018 to the present is considered a legal successor to the old conference. And the new Big East Conference and the American Athletic Conference shared the date of May 31st, 1979, which the old Big East was founded. Yeah. So this new Big East Conference is Division 1 non-football. That's the main key point, and there are 11 members. So, what's new here? What is new? Well, that was the thing. They wanted to return to the commissioner's original vision of a strong Northeast-based and basketball-focused conference, and by prospects of a better television deal that they would have received by remaining with the football schools. So, here's what happened. The Catholic Seven, left and made the new Big East Conference. Then, what was interesting is that this is gonna sound crazy. This sounds crazy to me. They announced that Butler University, Xavier University, and Creighton University would join as football program, as basketball, as members of the Big East. So that's what ended up happening. Now, UConn was rejoining in parentheses. What's crazy about this is that UConn was part of the old Big East, the AAC, and the new Big East. They're the only ones to ever do it. And in terms of UConn's football program right now, they are considered a FBS independent due to the fact that the Big East doesn't sponsor football, the new one, by the way. So that's what's happening. Now, my version of the Big East Conference. Okay. This might sound ridiculous. It just sounds true. And I know I put Notre Dame, but come on. Come on. I had to. So, here are the ones that I put. Boston College, DePaul, Georgetown, Marquette, Notre Dame, Providence, Rutgers, Seton Hall, St. John's, Syracuse, Temple, Cincinnati, UConn, Pittsburgh, Villanova, Virginia Tech, and West Virginia. Now now I know the Catholic 7 doesn't have that many. I know that Georgetown and Villanova have football programs, but they're not as popular. So in my opinion, this could work out in the end. So, what do you think? So you guys may be asking, what is your opinion on all of this? Well, here's the thing. My opinion on all of this is this. I'm not going to make a video on the American Athletic Conference due to the fact that I don't think it's worth it, in my opinion. I don't think it's worth it. So, for the Big East Conference, like I stated, the commissioner, let me state this. The old commissioner, David Roy Gavitt, focused on creating a Northeast basketball-focused conference, right? Then, when they went into the football realm, which they were good at with Miami of Florida Hurricanes and the Virginia Tech Hokies, Hokies. Alright, I'm repeating myself. Hokies. Yes, I got hookies. Okay. So, when they added certain teams in, Rutgers, Temple, Virginia Tech, West Virginia, Miami, Pittsburgh, all of them lot, they had issues. They even voted out Temple. Out you go, Temple. Then, when Virginia Tech, Miami, Boston College led to the ACC, they just took 5 members of 5 schools for Conference USA. Louisville, Cincinnati, South Florida, Marquette, DePaul. Then, they still had a continual instability that led to the demise of one conference splitting into what the first commissioner's focus was, which was a basketball-focused conference, and then another conference that is technically the continuation of the old Big East, which is the American Athletic Conference, which has retained its history, its everything. So, yeah. And also, to point out, I do support it. And I do support them. They will live in the football lore for being part of the BCS, with Miami and Virginia Tech representing the BCS national championships in their respective years. And I praise them, The Big East, the old Big East, the new Big East. I wish they would have gotten it. I wish that the Big East didn't have this much turmoil to where we are today. But it is what it is. So, yeah. And UConn, by the way, I will state that UConn did join in, they did join in 2020, but they they did join as like a they join as like a full member, but without football. So yeah, and yeah. So, anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I will actually put links to the old Big East, the new Big East, and the realignment phase and everything. With all of this, I will state that this is one of the conferences which I wish had its history in place. Because, as I said before, Boston College, Syracuse, Pittsburgh, Miami, Virginia Tech are all part of the ACC. Louisville is also part of the ACC. West Virginia is now part of the Big 12. Rutgers is part of the Big 10. Temple was part of the Independent, the Mid-America Conference. Then the Big East and American Athletic Conference. UConn continued, then became independent, but joined the basketball Big East Conference as a full member. But football, so this whole history is like interconnected. So, and with the new one, you have the Catholic Seven, as I mentioned, with Xavier, Creighton, and Butler joining. UConn joined in 2020, and I have to state that. So, yeah. So, anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, I will put links to it. Pull all the links down the description. Down the description below. Tell me if you agree with me. Tell me if you don't agree with me. Let me know on any information that I missed out on, so that way I could make an updated video on this. So, anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Y'all are legends in my book, as well as for me. I will see y'all in the next one. Take it easy, and peace.